Hey, this video is a little bit long, but please watch it all the way through. I'm going to try to answer everything that I could think of after owning this vehicle for nearly 7 months now. And if you have any questions, please drop the questions down in the comments below. Any product or other video that I mention will be linked down in the description as well. And I'll try to throw the cards up here on screen as well, easy for you to navigate. All right, so 6 months into owning a Tesla. This I bought pre-owned from Tesla. I bought it at 29,360 miles when I drove it off the lot. It currently has 34,513. So 6 months, over 5,000 miles really. Charged mostly at home. We got solar recently. Was it worth it? I'm gonna break down the real costs, the surprises, maybe some of the regrets, and whether or not I'd still buy this Tesla again. Hey, I'm Billy. If you're new to the channel, welcome. So I vlog, I talk about my life, I talk about my car, and just pretty much everything in between. I'm an Amazon content creator, a youth pastor, and a founding creator at Flip. And so what I want to talk about today was the fact that I bought a 2021 Tesla Model 3 long range directly from Tesla used. And this is my honest 6-month review. So one of the things that people ask is like, how much range do you actually get? Because I know Tesla advertises like a certain amount of range, and am I actually getting that range? So this is one thing I wish I would have considered, although it's not a deal breaker. When they advertise the range that you get, that's at a 100% charge. And so when you're driving daily commute around town, you don't ever charge 100%. They recommend that you charge to 80% while you're driving around town. So you're never, it's not like you're filling up your tank every, when you have a gas vehicle and you go get gas, you fill your tank up. With the batteries, you got to treat it a little bit differently. This preserves longevity in your battery, and it helps maintain the condition of the battery and keeps it lasting a little bit longer. So do I actually get the mileage that's claimed by Tesla? Not while I'm driving around town. Does it bother me? No, it doesn't bother me at all, because I know that I'm only charging to 80%. But when I'm on the freeway and when I'm traveling, you can charge to 100%. In fact, I just did that. I charged to 100% at home, and I timed it out right so that I knew it would be at 100% by the time I wanted to leave. And I was able to get 3 hours away. So that's 140 miles, and it's uphill and all that kind of stuff going up through the Grapevine from Bakersfield. And I got actually really good. I think I was at like 38% when I got there. So that's not too bad. And it cost me $22 at the supercharger there. And when I got back home, because it wasn't as much uphill, a lot of downhill, and you got the regen on, that actually helped a little bit. So I actually had 44% battery when I got home. When I got home on Tuesday, I started charging. I drove it for a couple days, and then I started charging like on Friday. So that's really cool. So $22, it was free to charge at home because of the solar, and then $22 basically to get back and drive for a couple days. So that trip with a regular fuel vehicle like my wife's car probably would have easily been a tank of gas. I would have at least had to fill up to get back, which would have costed me anywhere from $60 to $80 depending on where we went. Supercharging is more expensive than charging at home, but my charging cost with PG&E would be about 30 cents per kilowatt hour. But we have solar, and I'm going to show you that here in a little bit. I'm going to show you the comparison of solar, but right now that the sun's out, we just got solar, so I'm still playing around with it, trying to figure it out. But right now when the sun's out, I actually charge for free at home right now. In the wintertime, it costs me some money, but really if I let it charge between the daylight hours of like 8 in the morning to about 5 p.m., it still only costs me like $3 or $4, but that's for the whole day for the entire household usage and not just for my car. So I would say 3/4 of that might be my car. So if you want to just call it like $2.50 or $3 per day. So this is going to be a little difficult to track down, but this is for the month of March. And I haven't charged my car. I charged a little bit this day, which was a Friday. And sometimes I do that. I'll go from like 20 to 40% or something like that. But so I charged a little bit here and a little bit here to get me up to, I think I was at 100% by the time I got here, and I was about 70% on this day. And these days are not fully, that $3.83 that's purchased from PG&E here. That's not just my car. That's other home use and stuff. And the weekends are typically higher. This is a Friday. This is a Sunday. And so, yeah, we sometimes have people over. But even if this was all my car, $3.62 and $3.83, a little over $7 to charge my car. So as of right now, what it's saying, our total bill for the month is $5. And we're not fully done with March yet, so that's or this billing cycle. So I'm not too worried about it. When the summer hits, we're gonna have more than enough. And it takes about, to get from 20% to 80, about, it always usually says about 24 plus hours. I think right now I was at 55% and it said about 15 hours left of charging. So it takes a while to charge at home, but that's not that big of a deal because it's charging while it's parked, so that's okay. And typically for my, travels around town, this is totally fine. I do wish sometimes I would have like a NEMA 1450, a little bit faster charging, but I've just got the really slow 120 volt, like super standard charger, the really slow one, and I charge it out front in front of my house with the port in the driveway. So yeah, I've got an outlet in the driveway, and it seems to work just fine. Anyways, I know that was kind of long-winded, but it does take longer to charge at home. Public stations, let's talk about charging at public stations. Charging at the public station takes me about 20 to 40 minutes, depending on how low my battery is and depending on how many people are charging at that station, okay? So what doesn't bother me about that is that I only do that maybe 2 times a month. I mostly charge at home. Supercharging every single day would be kind of annoying, but my brother does it. He drives for Uber in Las Vegas, and he does really well. He does that full time. He charges almost every day with a supercharger. For me, it doesn't matter because, like, when I'm at the public charging station, like, I'm literally playing Fallout Shelter. So I'm updating Fallout Shelter, and that's just kind of a fun thing for me to do once in a while. And that's only really if I forget to charge and I need to go somewhere. So I rarely do it, like I said. Now, if you're doing it every single day, it might get annoying, but I'm not too sure. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really bother me to sit here in the car and play a couple games while I wait. Or, jump on a phone call if I need to or whatever. If you plan your day around your charge, you could throw in a phone call while you're charging, answer some emails or something like that. And it really wouldn't take up any of your time. I see a lot of people working in their cars, getting on phone calls, typing on their computers, getting on Zoom calls. I've seen people exercising. There's all kinds of things that people do during the time that their car is charging. And I think you could fit that into your schedule too. So that doesn't, it doesn't bother me. I'm saving, I used to spend about $200 a month in fuel for my old car, my previous car. And I think, it's mostly free. This month, I think I spent $22 at a supercharger to go out of town. And so that's not bad at all. That's a huge savings. Let's talk about driving experience. I got a full 1 month free trial of FSD, and I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually. But $99 a month for me personally, for most of my stuff is like short trips and stints around town. I like having full control of the vehicle. I'm not on the freeway a lot. If I was traveling like on the freeway a lot every single day, I would really like FSD, and I might explore it some more here in the future. But right now, it's just not something I see a necessity to pay $99 a month for. Autopilot's really cool. I like autopilot. You basically, when you're driving, you pull this down twice, and that's going to put you in basically, if you just pull it down once, it's like regular cruise control. It'll slow down like when you get too close to cars, stuff like that, but it will not brake if there's like an emergency or something like that, or red lights or stop signs. It doesn't do that. That's the difference between FSD, full self-driving, and autopilot, is you still have a lot of control in autopilot. I mean, as you do in FSD, you could always just take control of the vehicle, and that's not that big of a deal. And hitting the brake will take you out of both of those options. And so autopilot confidence, I think I'm pretty confident with the autopilot. And if you double click down on this lever, that'll be the autopilot, full autopilot. And that's where the steering assist is on also. And so that's cool too, but I really only use that if I need to like grab something out of the back, or I'm like flipping through a book, you know, not reading it, but like looking through something really quick. But you got to be careful too, because the camera does kind of pay attention to see if you're paying attention. There's like weight sensors on the steering wheel. You got to show that you're being responsible and paying attention when you're actually driving the car. So, but I will say that I feel a lot safer in this car. This is actually the first car that I've driven that has made traffic less stressful. So that's actually really cool. I like the chimes. I like that it's letting me know if I'm too close to curbs or objects. Yeah, if there's people pulling up behind me. If there's a car slowing down in front of me and I'm not slowing down, it beeps at me. Like, it'll turn my radio down and it'll go beep, 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 beep. And it'll show the car red on the screen. So that's really cool. I like all of the safety features that are in this car. Let's talk about the build quality, like panel gaps, rattles, any kind of service center visits or warranties or repairs. Mostly, I'm going to get out of this car here, mostly because a lot of people say that there are some annoying panel gaps. And I'll be honest, when you first look at this hood, the thing you see is the panel gap here, and then it gets bigger on this bumper. Okay, and I also noticed on this side here, you can see that it's kind of raised up higher on this side than it is over on this side. Oh, here it is. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Than it is over on this side. And it's actually really tight on this side and not that tight on the other side. So it's kind of interesting that those are like that. But other than that, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, it doesn't bother me overall looking at the car the way that it is. One thing I do need to check out is in here. I noticed the other day when I took it to the car wash, I did notice some water down inside of here, some water droplets. And I know there's a way to recalibrate your windows so that they seal up properly, because these are a little different. And the way that they seal is when you shut your door, they seal up against this right here. And so you can see that right now. Oh, well, not yet because I have my other door open. But you can see that when it shuts, it seals up against this seal right here and rolls up and seals. Okay, but if it's even off just a little bit, or it's not quite sealing right here, then it's probably going to let some water in. So every now and again you might need to adjust or calibrate your windows. But you can see that right here. But it looks good. This one's sealed, and so I really like it. Back seats. Let's talk about the back seats. The back seats are really comfortable. I enjoy actually sitting in them, and I like that there are air vents back here, and I can control those up front. They do make an aftermarket screen here that allows you to get control of these vents, which is actually really cool. So it's comfortable back here. My kids are, they kind of say a little different. They kind of say that like on longer road trips, they don't really like to sit in this car. But my wife has a 2016 Honda Pilot, and it's the Elite Edition. So it's a lot more like captain's chairs in the middle. It's just a lot bigger and more roomy. So we're going to go to Arkansas soon, and at the end of April. So be on the lookout for that. But I don't think we're going to take the Tesla, because I think, we're just going to bite the bullet, spend a little bit more money on some fuel, and go ahead and go with a little more comfort. So yeah, this one, it's comfortable, definitely for around town and all that kind of stuff. I think I could sit back here for a few hours, but I'm an adult, and sometimes, kids get squirmy. So I don't know. But to be fair, I have one 17-year-old that's going to be 18. He drives his own car, and when you start driving and then sitting in a back seat for long periods of time and you're not the driver, it kind of gets a little annoying. And then the other thing is, it doesn't feel as crowded back here because this is nice and open. But me personally, like if I'm sitting straight up, like I have about 2 inches away from the top of the glass, and I'm 5'10", but I don't sit like this in a car. Typically I'm like kind of lean back, lean down, but I don't know. I mean, I'm like this in the back of a Honda too, so it doesn't really bother me. You don't even notice it. In fact, because it's open and glass, it feels very roomy and comfortable. Okay, so another thing that I did was I took off the Aero hubcaps. I didn't like them after a while, and to be honest with you, they started making this clicking noise on this side. And after taking them off, I realized one of the like springs or clamps on the inside of that Aero hubcap was broken, and so it was kind of just rattling around. It was super annoying. So what I did, and I'll link them down in the description, is I bought this set. It has this Tesla T center cap, and then these caps that just go over your lug nuts, and it really puts a nice finish to the stock wheels that are below the Aero wheels. And you can see I've had them for about 2 months now, and they stay on. They haven't fallen off, and I'm not missing any of them. And because this is an American-made vehicle, I had to get these little decals as well. I did get some blackout badges as well. Those just go over the existing badges. As far as tire treads and stuff go, you can see they're still pretty good. I've had this car actually almost 7 months now, and so the tire tread, these were a little bit newer, of course, but this is 5,000 miles on them. They still look really good. I've heard a lot of rumors about tires going bad really soon, and people are always concerned. Like, that was the first thing I got asked a lot, was like, what about your tires? Aren't you concerned about tires because the vehicle's heavy? And to be honest with you, I was driving next to a Jeep the other day, and that thing was so loud, putting so much wear on its big old knobby tires, that, you know, it's generally not a concern. I mean, it's semi heavier, but not really. Like, compare it to other vehicles, it's not really that much heavier, not enough to make a huge impact on your tire wear. So it's not even a concern of mine. Rattles and trim or anything like that, I haven't had any kind of noticeable rattles or squeaks or anything like that. The road noise, the reason I went with 2021 is because these windows here are dual pane. Let me show that to you. So you can see there's actually 2 layers of glass here, and that helps with the noise reduction. If you've got a 2021, if you've got a 2020, it might sound a little bit noisier in your car. And that's one of the main reasons I wanted that, because I do like it quieter. So I figured, why not? I'll give it a shot with these dual pane windows, and yeah, you definitely hear a difference. I've ridden in a 2020 before, and I can tell the difference. Let's talk about warranty and service repairs. So I'll be honest with you, I haven't had any issues with this car. Like, I haven't had to take it in for service or take it for repair or anything. But like I did say, there is that door seal for the window that I'm gonna have them look at, and then I don't remember if the braking, like when you put it in park, if it was always that loud. It just seems a little bit louder, but I don't know. Maybe I'm off, maybe I'm wrong. But as far as everything else goes, like, everything else worked fine. There was one time when I put a screen protector on my screen, and my screen was kind of glitching out because I didn't put it in the right, like, screen cleaning mode like you're supposed to when I put it on. And so it was like making that thing go crazy. But really all I did was reset my car, and you can do that by holding down these 2 buttons here at the same time, and that will reset your vehicle. And then yeah, everything will be fine after that. Yeah, you get over-the-air updates. Those are all, though, you'll get a notification on your phone and say, hey, your vehicle has an update. And then you just ask, you know, if you want to do it overnight, schedule it, or you want to do it right now, you can do that option. I always opt to do, if I'm just sitting at home anyways, and it's charged enough, like, you know, above 20%, it takes about 30 to 45 minutes to update sometimes. And at that time, your alarm won't be enabled sometimes. things like that. So you just want to make sure that if it's in a safe space and you don't have to go anywhere, you can update the vehicle. I pay for the data service. It's $10 a month, so I get like Spotify and all that kind of stuff. I get Sentry mode, so I could view the cameras from anywhere in the world, essentially, that I have service. And I could view the cameras from the car on my phone. Camp mode. I've never done this. And in fact, at the end of May, I'm going camping with my brother. He's got a 2021 Tesla Model 3 as well, the Performance Edition. And I'm going camping with my brother. It'll be a first for us, first for him. I'm going to find his YouTube channel and you should follow him. He's actually going to live in his Tesla for at least a year. And he's going to start documenting his journey. He's going to live out of his car for a while and save some money. So that'll be interesting. I've talked about the entertainment. So this screen is big. There's Netflix. There's all kinds of games and all kinds of stuff. You can't do any of it while you're driving, but while you're parked and stopped, you can. Now, I heard from some little bird that there is a hack around this. So if you guys know of it or what device it is, or direct me to the right YouTuber, something, please put it in the comments. Like, comment down below how I could do this, because I would love for my kids to be able to be back here and watch a movie on this screen. As long as they're able to watch the movie and I can still navigate, like, totally fine with me. Like, I just want to be able to put a movie up on the screen while I'm driving. So if you guys know how to do that, please help me out here. The biggest thing that I wish I would have known or considered when buying this Tesla, any Tesla, and from what I've heard, any electric vehicle for that matter, is the motion sickness. Now, that might sound weird, and I didn't even know that it was a thing. It was just a couple days after I started driving my car, I started kind of feeling sick. And it was like every time I drove my car, I'd get out and I felt like nauseous. Apparently it's a thing, because when you accelerate in a vehicle and you're pushing down on the gas pedal with your foot, you hear the sound of the car and the car accelerates. When you let off, and I'm talking about a gas vehicle here, when you let off of the accelerator pedal, your car still kind of continues to go and doesn't really slow down until you push on the brake. And so when you push on the brake, your car will start to slow down, and you know by the engine sounds and the feeling and the action that you're taking to make that happen, you're aware of it. But because of the regenerative braking, as soon as you let off on a Tesla, you let off the accelerator, you start to let off, the car starts to slow down. And so your mind is relearning how to drive and operate a vehicle like this. When you are letting off of the accelerator in a regular vehicle, your mind knows that you're letting off the accelerator, but you're still going forward and you're not slowing down as much. So in a Tesla, when you're letting off and regenerative braking is on, it's actually slowing down for you. And so it starts to slow down and stop the vehicle, and it will eventually stop the vehicle. And so it's kind of playing games with your head and causing that motion sickness because you're not used to that yet. I assure you, after like 2 or 3 weeks of driving this car, I totally got used to it and it went away. From what I've read and heard, is that everybody kind of experiences some of it and it ends up going away. There are actually people that got this car and it's never been an issue for them. Like, they didn't experience the motion sickness. I did a little bit, but after like I said, after a couple weeks, it totally went away. I don't even have that issue anymore. And going back to driving a gas operated vehicle, I don't have a problem with that either, because I've driven one for so long and going back from that to in between the Tesla, like, if I don't drive my car for a few weeks and then I come back and drive it, which it hasn't been that long, it's been a couple days, but I don't have a problem getting back in it and driving again, because I've retrained my brain to know, like, okay. And here's a trick. Here's what I did, to be honest with you. I just started telling myself, all right, in my head, like, I am letting off the accelerator and my car is going to slow down. Like, I really had to actually think about it as I was doing it, because like, I had to retrain my brain, because I love this car and I didn't want to like be like, I can't not have this car. I can't take it back because I feel a little motion sickness. Like, I'm going to get through this. And so I just retrained my brain. And I think if you tell yourself that from the very beginning, the time that you get the car and start operating it, like, you tell yourself, when I let go of this accelerator, it's going to start slowing down. And you actually think about it kind of out loud in your head, like, get yourself used to that. Because I wish somebody would have told me that. Like, nobody, no videos, nobody that I've seen or heard talks about that. I didn't even know it was a thing. I had to look it up. Like, is this normal? Are people actually experiencing this, or is this just me, like a rare case? It's not that rare, but I just wish that people would have talked about it some more. Do I have any regrets buying this car? No, I don't. So these are just some add-ons, some extras that I wanted to show you. Like taking off the arrow wheels, that's important. Like those, they were annoying to me. But do I even have them in here? Oh, these are really cool, and they're going to be helpful depending on where you go. They're jack pads, and you're going to need these to get your tires rotated. So these are going to pop up underneath the side of your vehicle. Let's see if you can see that hole right there. They just pop up inside of that, and then the auto shop can use these to jack the car up. I'll put the links to all this stuff in the description, but really, man, like all of this stuff that I'm talking about is like super inexpensive. So I got the jack pads as an accessory that I would have with me. I do have some window shades. You can get those. I'll put the link down, and they just basically cover the windows for when it gets hot. They've got some that go up in here to block some of the sun and the heat out. I would recommend getting those, especially like in Bakersfield. It's really hot. I've got this, which is an under screen storage. This thing helps out so much because there's not a lot of storage here. And if you've got cups or whatever, like right now I'm just parked, but normally I put my sunglasses in here, and I could even put my phone in here at an angle. You just got to finagle stuff around, like put your phone in there, sunglasses, close this up, and it's like it was never there. I really like having that. There's also one up here that's kind of behind the screen that I have that I really like. It's just a tray that mounts in there. And these things are all super inexpensive and easy to put in, but I definitely recommend getting something to have extra storage. And I even have this sliding tray because Tesla doesn't have this tray. This just comes like that, just a big open hole. So this little tray by Spigen is super inexpensive too, and it helps me organize and hold a couple more things that don't get lost down here in the bottom. So I really like that. Oh, and I've also got this little storage deal here that is right here, and I think you can see that, and I hold my insurance and registration and stuff in there. So yeah, that normally is just a little open hole, so this thing just pops in there with some 3M, and it's nice and tight, and will hold that paperwork in there for you. Other than that, I can't think of anything that I've bought for this that's aftermarket that was like super expensive. Oh, I did get a trunk light. Let me show you that. I'm gonna link, like I said, I'm gonna link all this stuff. The little baby trunk light that you get stock in this vehicle is terrible. It's terrible at nighttime. But let me show you what I got. It's this one. You can hardly see it, but if you look under here, that's a light all the way around. You can probably see it now. That's a light all the way around, and at nighttime that thing glows super bright, and it's awesome. And so normally you just get this tiny little light, and if something's in, you got stuff in here, you could barely see anything over here in these corners. So that thing like lights up the entire front, makes it a lot easier to see. Hey guys, so I'm going through the end of this video. I watched it all the way through, and after editing it, I realized there's a couple things I left out, and so I want to share those things with you. One of the things was the rise of insurance cost. A lot of people are concerned about that. But if you have a vehicle that you don't own, so you're making payments on it, insurance is comparable to that. We have a 2016 Honda Pilot, and my insurance cost for my Tesla is about the same as that Honda Pilot. The one thing that did go up was my vehicle registration. I think typically I pay like $300 or $400 a year for the other newer vehicles. And then this one was, I think, $600 or something. It was like $636 or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I know that it was a little bit higher than normal, which to me, it didn't bother me. But it might bother some people. The seat controller, there is a seat controller I had to replace. I'm going to go ahead and put the link to that video up here as well, because I show instructions on how to replace that. It was broken. My wife like put her foot on it somehow when she was getting in the car and it broke off. So I got a replacement for that. There's also another thing about the windows, two things about the windows. So creaking and squeaking and all that kind of stuff. People are wondering about road noise. When I roll up and down my windows, sometimes there's these little speakers on the door. Those little speakers, sometimes when the door is closed, like they kind of creak, but it's not too bad. It doesn't really annoy me. It's only once in a while. And that could just be dirt and grime and stuff too, kind of between the materials, you know, as the door shut. I'm not sure, but sometimes it happens. The other thing that's kind of annoying is that if you are used to having a car where you roll the windows down and you just want to get out of the car real quick, say it's a nice sunny day and you want to leave your windows down, shut your door, and you're like, for me, running into storage or something like that really quick into the store, and you want to come back out, most people will want to roll their windows up. But if you just want to do something quick and leave the windows down, right now I've got the setting turned on where when it auto arms when I walk away and the windows roll up. I don't know if that's a setting to see if you could change it, so I'll go check that right now and add it right after this. Man, I know this is a long video, but hey, I tried to cover everything like I said in the beginning. So if you watch this all the way through, thank you very much. And I hope that this video helped you make a decision on whether or not you would like to buy a Tesla. Remember, you can get a discount using my code below. If my code has been used because there's a limit on it, then find somebody else's code and you can still get the discount. So anyways, you can check down below, click the link below for Tesla, and you can search inventory and all that kind of stuff. Used was a great process for me. I didn't have any issues with it. I think they're really stepping up their game. If there is a problem with the car, talk to Tesla about it. They're pretty helpful. So anyways, guys, I hope that this helps you. Like I said, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, because it would help. I would like to talk more with you and get to know you guys. I'll catch you on the next video. All right, thanks for watching.